My name is Glenn Miner, and I work at Digital Extremes. I've been there for over 20 years, and I wear many hats. Sometimes I'm just a player, and I play the game a lot and try to advocate for things that I see could be better in the game. And sometimes I'm fighting fires. I'm sort of a site reliability engineer sometimes, and sometimes I think technically they call me a technical director. You will be hard-pressed to find a group of customers as passionate as gamers. You get up and you have hundreds of thousands of players that either really like what you've done or are really frustrated with something that isn't quite right. That's a really intense environment to work in, but it's also really rewarding because when you make people happy, you make hundreds of thousands of people happy and they'll tell you about it. Over the years, what we found was that there was a niche that we could not find a good vendor for. And one of the great things about cloud computing is when you're in a virtualized environment, you can do a migration from a live service to a different hardware. If you have hardware failure, you can swap out hardware, and because it's all virtualized, you can stay alive the whole time. The move to virtualized environments gives you more robustness and more reliability. The downside is that a lot of vendors will sell you VMs, but not a lot of them will rent you VMs that are protected. So we were kind of hungry for a vendor that not only would protect us, but one we could trust. An extra 150 milliseconds of latency might not be the end of the world. But you ask a gamer what 150 millisecond ping feels like, and they'll scream or make a green face. And so when you're evaluating whether it be a network provider or a cloud hosting provider, any of these things, the most important thing with it, and it kind of goes without saying, is it must not crash. It must be stable. It must work. That's paramount, and that's the first and most important requirement of any product we need to use. So a cloud provider or a cloud compute provider might be able to give you very cost-effective horizontal scaling, but maybe not protection. We have to host our servers around the world, but not only that, you have to have a data center around the world to talk to the other servers. They're all interlinked, they're all connected. The private network between servers is as important to us as the data center itself. There are data centers all around the world spread out to geolocate close enough to gamers so that they can have the best experience. And we've had no problems with any of the intranode links. And that's been really great. And I think that's testament to the fact that Akamai's network is so well established. I think that a lot of the cloud providers offer comparable features. Some of them will charge you more for bandwidth. So if you're a high bandwidth consumer, then that might help you just make up your mind one way or the other. But when we looked at Akamai, it not only had good bandwidth costs, we can aggregate all of our services into one bandwidth pool, and we never go over that because some of our services are really busy, some of them are not, and it all balances out and aggregates into one sort of bandwidth quota. We've never hit that. That's really great. One of the things that we were super concerned with, and we've been really happy with so far, is the scalability, the vertical scaling of a VM. And one of the great things about Akamai is that they're an established network provider. They have great backbone networks. And that means that the connections between our servers that are spread around the world have been rock solid. They've dealt with a lot of problems on our behalf without even noticing. We've had DDoS attacks that we didn't even realize we were having because they were just dealt with transparently. They're able to provide protection and services online that we need. There's no reason to go anywhere else.